Well, today I'm going to be setting up, hopefully, something I bought back in February. It took quite a while to get here to the States because of, well, international shipping, because it is full of lithium batteries, it has to go the slow boat, and of course the global pandemic. So it is October 18th, and I've had this for under a week, but here will be my install and probably not even a review because it's so cold outside, but at least an install and a function test on my Swytch kit. This very specifically is the Pro kit for the Brompton. I've got an M6L in here, which I'll show you in just a second. And it's a basic Pro kit, so it doesn't have a throttle or anything. It's just pedal assist. I probably shouldn't gloss over. A Swytch kit is a electric bike conversion kit for an existing bicycle. This company does standard 26-inch. They do 700 mil wheel kits as well, but I bought this specifically for the Brompton because that's what I ride most often, and I kind of wanted a little bit more punch on that thing when I'm commuting with it, which is rare, but it happens. So this has a 250 watt hub motor in it, so not super powerful. It's about the same as my little electric kick scooter, but it has a pretty chunky lithium battery, and with pedal assist, it should get me into like the mid 20s mile an hour speed wise, and I believe it's good for about 20 miles of use, which is really actually pretty great. So anyway, we'll get it open. And I'll open up the Brompton here too, just so we can kind of go over what it is and isn't right off the bat, and then we'll walk through it. Pass bro disc pedal sensor. So it looks like the wheel is the same finish that my dynamo wheel was anyway. Feels very nice. Excuse me. Eco? No. We're going pro. Cool. So accessories, extras. So this has got to be the actual module then. Oh God. That's hefty, so I'm guessing that is the case. Warranty void if seal removed. Funny story, those are illegal in my state now, which is cool. I might actually read that. And this might not power on until it's docked, but this is the piece that actually mounts on the front of the frame and has all the outputs. So all of the electronics are basically contained within this. And yeah, that's a really good design. This has some pretty serious heft to it, and it should. I can't exactly remember how many milliamp hours the Pro kit is, but it's pretty girthy. So just leave that out. I don't know why it came with a Q-tip. Oh, for cleaning the contacts, I bet. Interesting. Okay. Well, I guess I'll unwrap the rest and we'll take a look. I do still have to pull the dynamo hub. Oh, shoot, and the tire. That's not going to be fun. Those Schwab tires are really, really intense. But anyway, yeah, I've got a dynamo on this bike, and it's got a power rear and front light. So I got to take all that stuff off. And probably give it to my brother who has an S3? I don't know, a 3-speed, no front derailleur. A little bit more basic one, but yeah, so far I'd say it arrived intact, so that's cool. That should be cool. I will never understand why this phone defaults to vertical video. Anyway, this is the entire kit, and I think they messed up I have a universal pedal sensor, which I guess is fine, but it lists the option for 2 Brompton models on there too, neither of which I have. The front bar mount looks fine. Charger looks fine. I don't know if I ordered a throttle. I might have, but either way, they sent me 2 throttles. And they sent me 4 dual brake kits, as well as 2 tube mounts, I think they call this thing. So I think whoever packed this order may have done it very wrong. I think I have a lot of extra parts here, but oh well, I guess. I guess it's better than not having enough. There are lots of, all recyclable cardboard, so really this doesn't offend me too much. Not that much in terms of single-use plastics. A lot of this stuff is just placed in a box, which is pretty great. Looks like the interconnects are color-coded, although a little worrying if you have to daisy chain these things. That's a lot of potential connection points to fail. So I'm not sure if I dig that too much. And I never actually did open the pass bro disc. Oh! All right, so they did send me a Brompton pedal assist sensor as well as a universal. I'm going to have to go back and look at my order, but I'm pretty sure I didn't order half that stuff. Anyway, yeah, that's what it looks like. It's all very nice quality by the looks of it, so I don't know. I'm curious what that connector was actually for. Oh, look, it was manufactured 7 of 2020, so it actually wasn't that bad as far as turnaround time to get it to the States. It just took them 5 months to manufacture it after I paid for it. So, anywho, neither here nor there. This kit looks pretty good so far. I'm going to work next on removing the dynamo assembly and lights from my Brompton, and then let's see what we can do.
Okay, another day, and I finally have a little bit of actual time, so let's get going on this Brompton Swytch kit. I'm going to get the bike turned upside down. I'm going to get all the zip ties for my existing dynamo set pulled off, because unfortunately I can't run the dynamo in the front wheel hub and the Swytch kit. And then we will get everything laid back out and see exactly what's what. Now, a routing thing we'll need to take note of for the front drive assembly for the Swytch kit. If we do decide to come up the brake cable or use the front tube, it's important that we don't come back down the cable set until about 2 inches from the fulcrum. When you fold the bike, you need that little bit of flexibility. So just something to keep in mind. You definitely don't want to go all the way across because of this joint. Okay, dynamo stuff is all stripped off officially, so I'm actually going to throw the tire on the new wheel before I do anything else, because I know that's going to be a bit of a slowdown if I don't. But yeah, the dynamo stuff actually came off a little easier than I anticipated, so that's a good start. So far, project's very easy. All right, so I got the tire and tube. Unfortunately, I ruined the tube taking it out, but use tire levers, they're better. If you don't have those and you do happen to have automotive trim removal tools, these work pretty well. Schwalbe Marathons are notoriously very, very tough tires, so I don't know. It was just unlucky. I pinch flatted this tube doing this, so I will throw the tire on the new wheel, but I'm not going to put the second lip over because I will have to order a new tube and throw that in. But nevertheless, we'll still keep going on the Swytch conversion because that is not relevant to the conversion. So fitting the front wheel, they do say to have the cable on the left side of the bike, which I think flipped upside down. This is correct. That's how the dynamo was too. You'll see my tires off because I still need to put a tube in it. I'm not even going to tighten this down today because I do need to make sure I can get this all in here. But I'll be able to wire this in. It does have a removable connector. You can see it's got 3 phases of power and then a bunch of hall sensors, it looks like. It is a 250 watt hub motor. In the US, we're currently allowed to have more than that, but in Europe, they're not. So it is what it is. Next step is going to be the pedal sensor. I was erroneously sent to Universal, but I also have a Brompton A, Brompton B. So I'm going to hope that this should just fit really easily on the Brompton. But again, I already have one of these universals as well, so just in case. So I've deemed this to be Brompton Type B on the crankset here. So I have disassembled this component right here. They do not give you an Allen wrench. Really, really annoying on an expensive kit like this. A 2.5 millimeter is what you need. Thank goodness I had this weird thing sitting around. I have a fully equipped shop here, and I do not have a 2.5 millimeter Allen wrench. So that is a huge black mark on this, but whatever, we got it on there. I'm going to fit this snap ring around the perimeter here. They definitely want you to do that. And then I'll fit this, oh, actually, I have to fit this around first, obviously, because this has to come apart. Then you fit the snap ring, and then we will put the little magnetic pickup, wherever that ends up being, I'm not sure, on the frame rail itself. So I went ahead and fitted the Brompton Style B pickup on the other side of the crankset. I feel like it's going to get broken on this side, so I'm not a huge fan of that. It uses Hall effect sensors, so directionality does not matter, and I'm more comfortable with it over there. So I did have to make a very small modification to it to get it to fit, but I prefer it over there. So next step is going to be mounting the big Swytch battery pack mounter thingy up there, which is this guy. So yeah, that's my next step. I'm gonna put that there somehow. So I'm holding it with a channel lock and threading it on with a 5mm Allen. Seems like it's working. Again, a little tacky. They don't include any tools or proper instructions, but whatever. Unfortunately, I had to give in and move it over to this side. Works fine over there. However, there's insufficient clearance for the magnetic pickup. So I think this looks dumb. And again, it's very vulnerable to damage here, but it has to be on the left side. So, okay. This is mounted. Not too bad with the channel lock. Oops, sorry. Not too bad with the channel lock holding it in. Very sturdy. I will see what step they want us to do next. So I'm going to be installing the pickup sensor on this tube right here. In order to do that, it's got some 3M VHB. So I've got some soapy water on a towel. I'll dry it off. Nice clean surface, as much as we can. And then align it so the depth is around the same as your magnets. And then stick it, and then tighten up the set screw. So I have that adjusted. I ran 2 of the included zip ties through, and now I'm just going to trim off the tails. Hopefully that's close enough. On a VR it never would be, but I'm hopeful that it's a very sensitive Hall effect sensor, which it looks like it is given the 3 pins. So I finally figured out what the little nubbin they gave me was. Apparently, it just doesn't let the bike fold quite as tight when it's electric converted. Not sure how I'll like that. I do actually fairly regularly put my bike in a Brompton branded bag, but I'll thread it on and we'll see. All right, next up we have the motor cable, which I will thread alongside down here. It doesn't fit through the frame loop, which sucks, but we'll make do. The PAS, pedal assist sensor, I'll loop that around the frame tube, down these cables, zip tying all along the way, and I'll plug them into the respective, I believe it's the male one here. Additionally, I will have to look. I have regen brake sensors, and I also have a throttle, so I'm not sure if I want to install all of that. I'm just noticing now I definitely have to adjust my brake pads too. But anyway, I'm going to do the 2 wires that come with every kit so you can see that, and then I've got a bunch of optional extras that I bought with mine too. So we'll cover as much of that as I can here. So I didn't fully affix the motor cable on the other side yet because I do need to put a tube in this, but I got it all the way down to here. I left a little bit of room on either side of the frame mount because this stuff moves. but I do want it to be kind of a unit with the front brake cable. So I got it all the way up here. It's a nice length. I really have no complaints there. Now time to do the PAS. So there we have it wrapped around the down tube, zip tied to a single cable. Do not zip tie all these together. Unless you're right here. There was an existing zip tie tying them all together, so I replaced that with the new wires. So all of that's in pretty good shape. The blue, like I said, they are brake, and the other orange one is for a throttle, which I do have. So I'll be installing the throttle next. But right now it's a functional switch kit for pedal assist, in theory. I just have more to install for the high roller kit, as it were. So my solution to getting this installed was not ideal, and I'll probably have to trim the grip, unfortunately. But in order to get full brake function, I had to loosen the brake, push it in, tilt it, push this on, set it in the correct orientation for my thumb, tighten this down, then swivel this back into place and tighten that down, because the set screw on the bottom here, although they're both 2.5 millimeter, makes the rear brake bind, and I need my rear brake. So anyway, that's done, and it is pretty much the perfect distance to plug in, so I'm going to do that and zip tie it, and then we'll look at the brake stuff. So I've just pulled the brake cable out of the sheath here because I am going to install this bad boy, which, sorry, I'm not entirely sure. I think must go, oh, yep, okay. I have figured it out. So I'll have to cut the sheath of the cable to this amount and then leave that a little on the long side, and I'm gonna lube it too, just a teeny bit. But these apparently are able to detect brake events, and I think they're for regen. I'm not really sure, but either way, it's kind of cool. So I'll try it. If it doesn't work, I'll just disconnect it, whatever. But I have it in the kit, so I'm probably going to use it. So reasonably happy with that, except I lost my little cap, unfortunately. I still have it, but there's, I might actually be able to get that out of there and crimp it back on. We'll see. All good there. The rear brake, I do still have an input for it, and I obviously have the equipment to do it. In fact, I have 3 sets of these for some godforsaken reason. I don't know if I really care too much, though. We'll see. I'll ride it a little bit, and if it turns out I actually am using it, and I'm benefiting from the regen, I'll install it. But it's pretty invasive on the brake cable system, and I'm not a huge fan of adjusting brakes after the fact. So it'll serve the purpose for now, but I'm going to pull this little protective cover off of the contacts now, throw the battery on for the first time, and see if it responds. Well, I've got it plugged back into the charger, even though I had it fully charged, because pressing and holding on the button, there's no life. Which is definitely what you want to see with a brand new, super expensive Dealy Bop. Alright, I'll give it a few minutes, read through some more stuff, just to make sure I'm not missing something, and then try again. If you find yourself having the same issue I did, there is a physical power switch on the battery right there, which you're supposed to push through the back of this, but it doesn't really give you any information. So now it powers right up, no problem. Just something to look at. Well, there you have it. A switch converted Brompton. Mine doesn't work. The throttle doesn't seem to work. Pedal assist doesn't seem to work. So I have more reading to do, but at least the pack turns on. And it's physically done, so good enough for now. Now I have to go order a new tube.
Quick addendum, looks like you do have to turn on the pack before you install it because it is working now. Still no pedal assist, however, so I wonder if that's maybe a little bit too far away. Worst case, I could bridge the sensor out from the frame a little bit, but not ideal. I mean, this is designed for this bike. So if you tweak the sensor, okay, fine, it does work.